It's cat's out the bag at that point. So you kind of want to be careful when you see big entities like the Fed that aren't really regulated coming in and deciding they want to do stuff like that. And we already know what the Fed now is about. It's just about tracking and governing, and we got enough of that going on. Because once that Fed now is launched, they're going to see every payment you've ever made, and going to continue to see. There will be no privacy ever again for anybody at all. So you got to be real mindful of the stuff you're looking at being implemented or trying to be implemented. And right now with Bitcoin and the way the dollar's working, we see the dollar getting weaker and weaker, lower highs, lower lows. I was looking at this on a daily time frame, and I've been seeing this, thinking to myself like, dude, the dollar has definitely made some really wild moves. But here's the kicker, all right? On the daily, we got a high point, a low point, lower high, lower low, high point, down to the low point, right? You can see we're hanging out right at a 786, 886 zone for potential selling pressure at this level. And sure enough, what do we see? Dollar hit the area. We're starting to turn away from it. This could be the sign that we're looking for the market to maybe turn around and continue dropping, see another major push down. Or if we break this area and hold above it, we may get a new high, which could pretty much start the run for the dollar, and in turn create a lot of selling pressure and downward pressure for crypto, stock market, a lot of other areas, even real estate, because a lot of these areas are pretty much over exacerbated right now. And going over checking out BTC right now. Go ahead and refresh. We got Bitcoin still hanging out at a very interesting level where we may see some buying pressure. Let me go to the daily for you guys real quick so you can see what I mean here. You can see from our last major low to high, price is slowly been working its way down, and it feels like we're going to come down and potentially test these areas around 28, maybe even 27K for BTC at these levels. But there's a lot of actual good news going on for Bitcoin at the same time, even though we see a little bit of selling pressure because of what's going on with this dollar. We're not going to get any interest rate news this month. We're not going to get that until the end of September. But right now, it is really bullish because we see a lot of the, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, like you guys know, like with the big whale wallets, right? The big wallets in Bitcoin are called whales. And then just below the whales, they call them dolphins. And there's a certain barometer, like you got to have a certain amount of Bitcoin in your wallet to be considered a whale, a certain amount of Bitcoin in your wallet to be considered a dolphin. And then they have a certain amount of Bitcoin in a wallet to be considered a shrimp. And that's pretty much like the average, everyday person that's coming in trying to grab a couple of, Satoshis here and there. They're saying the accumulation in shrimp wallets has been going through the roof. Like the shrimp wallets haven't accumulated this much since 2017 at the peak, right? So they're talking about way back here, because everybody was buying up BTC at 13,000 and 17,000 and 19,000. The shrimp wallets went crazy here. It got trapped in the market, right? So they're saying there hasn't been this many people, this much excitement from the average everyday person in BTC since 2017. It says a lot. It says a lot. I don't know what's going on with that fox today, bro, but the tongue keeps coming out and doing some stuff. I didn't even know the fox had a tongue.
He's doing his thing today. I don't know what's up with him.
It's like a whole vibe. I keep looking up, and it's like you're eating something, and then the tongue's just hanging out. It's like,
no, I'm not eating anything. It like kind of moves sometimes. It's like does its own thing.
It's like it's so distracting. I gotta look up, and the tongue just like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If I do this, if I like click stop video, it'll just like be frozen.
Yeah. Like if you got up, it would just freeze and not move.
Yeah, if I move, it doesn't move.
Oh man. See here, shrimp cocktail. Y'all silly in the chat. All right, shrimp wallet. See here, just a shrimp egg. I'm just a shrimp egg. Okay, so I got a barnacle wallet. At least you're in the game. That's all that matters. You could be a barnacle. You could be a starfish. You could be a plankton. Whatever you want to be. At least you're in the game. All right. But yeah, they're just saying that the accumulation from newer wallets and smaller wallets is going crazy. A lot of people that have less than 7 or 5 Bitcoin, they've been accumulating like crazy coming into this space. People who have less than 1 Bitcoin has been going wild. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from that standpoint. But I remember what I told you guys. We haven't seen a lot of new money flow into the cryptocurrency space right now. We've been kind of consolidating at this $1.2 trillion level. That simply lets me know that the big money movers, the big, institutional players haven't been able to come in, but retail right, has been running wild right now, coming in and getting involved. And I think we're seeing something similar happen right now with these, institutional players. They don't have any on-ramps, so they're taking advantage of the fact of retail as well. And they're coming in just grabbing Bitcoin when they can, or maybe they're coming in, making accounts and, having their employees buy Bitcoin now. Maybe they're having their family buy Bitcoin now. Who knows, right? But we're seeing a massive accumulation from the smaller wallets. And we know how this stuff goes. It starts off small, maybe a couple of transactions get made, and now 2 wallets join, 3 wallets join, 4 wallets join, and now all of a sudden an institutional player decided they went through the low level, the doorway to get in, and now they're starting to accumulate in different ways and different manners because they don't have that same, institutional, buy-in that they got from some of these bigger banks that was collapsing earlier in the consolidation period, or the bear market, should I say, in crypto. So there are a couple of things going on right now that's a little interesting, but for the most part, Bitcoin's holding nicely. I was looking at the S&P right now. We're getting a nice little bit of a retracement from the S&P. Nothing too over the top, but we expect to see some selling pressure at these points, right? 786, 886, obviously, we get it. So now we're seeing a little bit of selling pressure, which is pretty much in the norm. You expect to see that. So it does say a lot about what's going on inside of crypto as well, because they're treating Bitcoin like it's a tech stock. So it's kind of all one and the same. The same people that are participating in the stock market are now participating in crypto. It's not the disconnect we once had. I was also looking at gold. Gold right now has kind of just been at a standstill. We had a little bit of a sell-off, and now we're kind of just back and forthing at these levels. So I'm not too over the top, like, oh, everything's going to move in one direction moving forward. We still need to see what the Fed's going to do. We still need to see, how all this is going to play out with potential regulation. We know we got an election coming up, and everything's up in the air with that. Like, it's one of those vague times in crypto and markets in general where we just don't have a lot of data to run with at the moment. And for crypto, we're just going through the cycles. This isn't anything out of the norm, guys. Like, this is pretty much the same old, same old. We've seen this before. You got to be patient with it. If we get the big move up, great. If not, great. We're going to take advantage of everything we get from this space. But to just come in and say, oh, it has to go up because, I'm ready for the bull run, that's not going to happen. All right. We still got a lot of time before we get to the halving. And we all know we won't see any kind of all-time high typically until after the halving. And that's still April or May of next year. All right, guys, like, you can't rush this stuff. For me, this is accumulation season all day long. And I think that's what we're seeing from a lot of the smaller wallets, the shrimp wallets, is everybody's just in accumulation season right now. They're going wild. They're buying stuff up. They want to have a good amount of it already aside, because when price finally does take off, they're going to be super excited. And then you got people like Robert Kiyosaki putting the fear of God in everybody about the dollar's going to just implode. And I'm like, that's a lot. That takes a lot of energy for the dollar to just go away overnight. I don't see that happening in just a moment's notice. Oh, the dollar is just done, right? You got countries, you got different entities, different banks all around the globe that hold US dollars, right? And I'm hearing rumors that the BRICS agreement is having a ton of issues right now because a lot of nations just can't seem to find a good way to work together. How interesting, because that's pretty much how it always goes. So we're expecting to see something with that potentially unravel. And when that happens, people are going to come running back to the old tried and true, what's been working for the longest, right? They're going to be looking to get right back into the US dollar. I was about to say Bitcoin. Y'all thought I was going to say Bitcoin. Right? But most people are going to get back into that US dollar. And I think it's just going to be another continuation of the party. We're going to see the dollar have another run and then a nice fall. And then when it falls, it'll be exciting because everybody's going to have an opportunity to hedge against the dollar. And we'll see things like the stock market grow and real estate grow. But I still think that we're well overdue for a really nice correction. And if we do see a nice correction, that also means that Bitcoin can come down into some much more attainable levels for a lot of people. And when I say a lot of people, banks. That's what I'm talking about, because it has zero to do with us. I just want to be clear. All right. So when we see big sell-offs in the market right now, it has nothing to do with me, you, your mom, your auntie, your coworkers getting involved. This is about BlackRock. This is about Fidelity. This is about JP Morgan. This is about Charles Schwab. I'm just being honest. Charles Schwab, Fidelity, JP Morgan, BlackRock, they all want in, and they're not trying to buy BTC at around $30,000 per Bitcoin. They want this thing down at 20 or lower. And I think that's going to be a really nice zone for them to come in and make a decision, an informed decision. And from there, pay attention, because a lot of people may start saying Bitcoin's dead. It's never going to come back. It's horrible. We always knew it was garbage. And then when it starts to take off again, they'll be the same ones running back saying, I always knew Bitcoin was going to be at 100K. I always knew Bitcoin was going to hit $1 million a coin. Right. So just be mindful of where we are right now, guys. It's nothing wrong with BTC. It's nothing wrong with Ethereum. They haven't done anything wrong. They're not hacked. They're not broken. They're not corrupted. It's just a lot of greed and a lot of uncertainty flowing around in all these markets. And you got to be careful because right now the stock market is at an unusual high. And this is where you get to a place where you start to realize, hey guys, there's a certain pattern happening where the stock market's going higher and people are trying to outpace it by saying, hey, if it's going higher, I'm going to keep buying into it. And when they buy into it, it keeps pushing it even higher still. And so we're dealing with this really weird energy where people who are forcing a narrative are creating other people to support the same narrative. That's the weird thing about the stock market. If it goes up, even if people don't trust it, they'll still buy into it. It's very, very weird. So right now, the stock market is at unusual highs that it has no business being at. A lot of these companies that are being invested in right now simply just aren't that healthy. They're not making that much money. Walmarts are closing down like crazy and the stocks are doing great. And I'm like, something ain't stirring the Kool-Aid. All right. So for me, I'm just paying attention to the signs. I'm being very mindful of this. And I want to make sure that you guys are as well, because there's some things happening. I want to pull this up real quick because I want to see what you think about this as well, Mike. Let me show you this real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see here. All right. So let's see here. Yeah, this is it right here. Now I want to show you this. Bring this over. Okay, bro. 2 minutes ago, or 2 minute read, this came out August the 4th. JP Morgan Chase no longer expects a recession in the US. Bro, I can no longer believe anything that they say because this, and I don't want to say psyop, but I feel like it's a psyop where they know that we know that they know that we know that all of this stuff that they say is just a ploy for them to run a play, for them to set everybody up, to rug pull, to get everybody all excited. Like, there's not going to be a recession because JP Morgan said so. And everybody just starts believing in the market and they just rug pull everybody. It just makes too much sense to me, bro. I just want to know what you think about this.
Well, I mean, I think right now for some people, I think it's interesting. I think some people right now, you are listening and you're in a recession in your life, right? I think some people, they're making the most money that they've made in their life. Now, a global recession, now I'm gonna be honest, Kurt, I don't see a global recession happening before the next election. Because if that does happen, they're done. That whole side is getting wrecked. Nobody's getting reelected on that side. So I'm actually going to agree with JP Morgan for the next 12 months. And then I think chaos is going to unleash at the end of next year.
Yeah. So you're thinking right after the election is over with, and if the Democrats do or don't, we're going to get the full, like they're going to pull the cork on the drain and everybody's going to feel it.
Yeah. I think even if that party wins, I think there's going to be a sell-off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Byron's going to get back in, and I don't think anybody wants a Kamala Harris, term. So at this point, because there's just not enough data. We don't know enough about what they have planned. There hasn't been any real, eye-opening, hey guys, check this out. This is what we've been planning. This is what we got going on next for the next big, 4-year run. Like, there's none of that going on. So I think you got a point. For the next 12 months, JP Morgan could absolutely be right about they don't see a recession happening, because the article I saw was they didn't see a recession happening in 2023.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think they're going to blow off the top and pump these markets and keep people keep people hopeful. Because think about all the new money that's coming in. Let's just talk about stocks for a second.
Yeah.
Every pullback, people are throwing money in. I mean, I'm actually looking at US 30 right now, and yeah, sure, it may fall a little bit, but overall macro, that all-time high is right there, and the retail person. So there's two sides of the coin. One side of the coin is, oh my God, it's all-time high. Let me short it. And then there's the other side of the coin. Oh, we're approaching all-time high. What if it breaks?
Yep.
And sometimes that money, it's euphoria, right? It's that emotion that money pushes to a new all-time high and way past, and then it just, it collapses. There's other, yeah, all
Yeah. They're happy back in the year, right after the election is over with, and if the Democrats do or don't, we're gonna get the full. Like they're gonna pull the cork on the drain, and everybody's gonna feel it.
Yeah, I think even if that party wins, I think there's gonna be a sell-off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Byron's gonna get back in, and I don't think anybody wants a Kamala Harris, term. So at this point, because there's just not enough data. We don't know enough about what they have planned. There hasn't been any real, eye-opening. Hey guys, check this out. This is what we've been planning. This is what we got going on next for the next big, 4-year run. Like there's none of that going on. So I think you got a point. For the next 12 months, J.P. Morgan could absolutely be right about they don't see a recession happening, because the article I saw was they didn't see a recession happening in 2023.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think they're going to blow off the top and pump these markets and keep people hopeful. Because think about all the new money that's coming in. Let's just talk about stocks for a second.
Yeah.
Every pullback, people are throwing money in. I mean, I'm actually looking at US 30 right now, and yeah, sure, it may fall a little bit, but overall macro, that all-time high is right there, and the retail person. So there's two sides of the coin. One side of the coin is, oh my God, it's all-time high. Let me short it. And then there's the other side of the coin. Oh, we're approaching all-time high. What if it breaks?
Yep.
And sometimes that money, it's euphoria, right? It's that emotion that money pushes to a new all-time high and way past, and then it just, it collapses.
And I think that's where I'm at with it, bro. With a lot of this, like I've just been watching so much euphoria in the stock market. Like it's like there's zero worry from anybody in the stock market right now. Everybody's just like, oh yeah, the party's still going on. You guys thought it was over. We're still going crazy. We're putting money in. We're investing. Real estate's never gonna be better. Like you're seeing like all these big Airbnb owners are struggling. All right, like they have vacancies. Some are doing great. Some are struggling. Like I know in Arizona, like there's like this crazy disparity of people that just they're not making any money. And then there's other areas where it's thriving because of summertime and travel and all that kind of stuff. So it's like this weird disparity of, is it bad, is it good? And then the press you get, you don't know if any of it's true anymore. Every time you hear news, you're like, is this another thing? Is this another thing? Are you guys just talking? Are you guys just saying stuff? Like we really don't have dependable data anymore, especially with like the onset of AI now and deep fakes now and all this stuff with agenda this and agenda that. It's like you really just don't know where the real data is coming from and if it's even legitimate to even utilize it in your
election. Because if that does happen, they're done. That whole side is getting wrecked. Nobody's getting reelected on that side. So I'm actually going to agree with JP Morgan for the next 12 months. And then I think chaos is going to unleash at the end of next year.
Yeah. So you're thinking right after the election is over with, and if the Democrats do or don't, we're going to get the full, like they're going to pull the cork on the drain. And everybody's going to feel it.
Yeah. I think even if that party wins, I think there's going to be a sell-off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Byron's going to get back in, and I don't think anybody wants a Kamala Harris, term. So at this point, because there's just not enough data. We don't know enough about what they have planned. There hasn't been any real, eye-opening. Hey guys, check this out. This is what we've been planning. This is what we got going on next for the next big, 4-year run. Like there's none of that going on. So I think you got a point. For the next 12 months, JP Morgan could absolutely be right about they don't see a recession happening, because the article I saw was they didn't see a recession happening in 2023.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think they're going to blow off the top and pump these markets and keep people hopeful. Because think about all the new money that's coming in. Let's just talk about stocks for a second.
Yeah.
Every pullback, people are throwing money in. I mean, I'm actually looking at US 30 right now, and yeah, sure, it may fall a little bit, but overall macro, that all-time high is right there, and the retail person, so there's two sides of the coin. One side of the coin is, oh my God, it's all-time high, let me short it. And then there's the other side of the coin, oh, we're approaching all-time high, what if it breaks?
Yep.
And sometimes that money, it's euphoria, right? It's that emotion that money pushes to a new all-time high and way past, and then it just, it collapses.
And I think that's where I'm at with it, bro, with a lot of this. Like, I've just been watching so much euphoria in the stock market. Like, it's like there's zero worry from anybody in the stock market right now. Everybody's just like, oh yeah, the party's still going on. You guys thought it was over. We're still going crazy. We're putting money in. We're investing. Real estate's never going to be better. Like you're seeing like all these big Airbnb owners are struggling. All right, like they have vacancies. Some are doing great. Some are struggling. Like I know in Arizona, like there's like this crazy disparity of people that just they're not making any money. And then there's other areas where it's thriving because of summertime and travel and all that kind of stuff. So it's like this weird disparity of, is it bad, is it good? And then the press you get, you don't know if any of it's true anymore. Every time you hear news, you're like, is this another thing? Is this another thing? Are you guys just talking? Are you guys just saying stuff? Like, we really don't have dependable data anymore, especially with like the onset of AI now and deep fakes now and all this stuff with agenda this and agenda that. It's like you really just don't know where the real data is coming from and if it's even legitimate to even utilize it in your, in your analysis. So seeing what we got right now from the stock market and what JP Morgan's talking about, it's one of those very weird times where it's like women lie, men lie, but you got to keep an eye on the money because the money is going to give you the first opportunity to make a decision on, hey, I need to get out of this, or hey, I need to get into this. And I think that's the thing a lot of people are missing because they haven't been trained in how to analyze charts. They haven't been trained in how to analyze market sentiment. They haven't been trained on how to analyze, just structure in general. And I think with you guys being a part of IM, being a part of these classes, and you see it day in and day out and week in and week out and month after month, it puts you in a very advantageous position to take advantage of something that the vast majority, like the 95 percentile of people in the country, on the earth, they're gonna miss out. They're gonna just flat out miss it because they don't know what they're looking at when something like this pops up. Like, I can show this chart to anybody on the street, they're gonna be like, what is that supposed to mean? And for you guys, you're like, bro, there's selling pressure, waiting. Bro, there's potential buying pressure, waiting. I'm looking to see what's going to happen. Like, you guys are analyzing every angle of this thing, and you're making informed decisions week after week, day after day, right? And I don't think you guys understand how powerful this information is right now, like how important it is. Like, Brandon Boyd always says this statement, there's nothing more powerful than the idea whose time has come. And I love that statement because the idea of IM was to bring Wall Street to Main Street. And it's been done. It's happened. It's already, the dream of that is here. It's a reality. And a lot of people just missed out on getting the information. A lot of people were here and left before they got the information, which is extremely scary. You were right there in the midst of all the information you needed to navigate through the next storm, right? Because the biggest storm, the biggest war we're going to deal with, not just in America, but in the world, is not going to be an actual, boots to the ground, Ukraine, Russia style war. It's going to be a financial war. You're going to have to understand, like, certain classes, like middle class, is being wiped out, right? Like, you're not going to be able to have that middle ground. Like, oh, I'm just doing well enough to be able to, buy a home and have a vehicle and take care of my family. Like, that's already being wiped out. Like, those kind of jobs that allow that stuff are being automated now. And they're not going to slow down automation to make you feel better. They're not going to slow down AI to make you feel better. Like, I was looking at something earlier, bro. They're looking to create AI therapists. They're looking to create AI lawyers now and AI judges, where there's not going to be any real, I'm impartial to this or impartial to that, or it'll just be by the book, by the book, by the book. And I'm like, yeah, with legal systems and by the book, you can get into a lot of trouble. Because there's a lot of corner cases in legal precedent where this situation is slightly different because of this, one feature that pops up, or this is different because of that. Like, when you start doing stuff like that, it runs you into a very rigid system. And when you deal with rigidity and things like that, there's no wiggle room. There's no understanding. There's no empathy. Yeah, that's a scary place to be in a society when you just deal with what you got in front of you because the book says so. And I think that's where we're headed, with a lot of people not understanding you're going to need to be able to take care of yourself on a different level. And it's not going to just be, hey, I work a job and I got this. Like, you're going to need to be able to have multiple sources. You're going to need to be able to even, like, grow your own food at some point now, because the way they're doing this farm and food stuff is scary, bro. Like, every time I cut on the TV, it's something weird getting put in the foods. I'm like, I can't do this no more. It's weird.
Yeah. No, that's something that's another conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been deep down that rabbit hole, buddy.
Man, dude, it's wild. And I know we get on the charts and we go wild on price action and looking at what's happening with the markets and different players that are coming into the space. But there's so many things you have to take into accountability when you see these players coming into the space. Like, what is their motive for coming in? What is their motive for trying to bring the same old rules and habits that they had from stocks and Forex into crypto, right? And it's all about power. It's all about control. I don't want to say manipulation, because we know every market's manipulated. It's always going to be somebody with more money than the next person that's going to influence price. But when we see things happening with the dollar and it getting weaker and weaker and weaker, like this structure you see on this weekly is textbook. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. When I see this and we're down deep into an area, breaking below 50%, almost hitting 618, even if we rallied back up, the sellers have already wiped out over 50% of what the buyers have created. Now I'm thinking anytime up here, the ratio of sellers coming back in has gone up, because I've seen the sellers already show strength. This isn't a 382 retracement where we barely saw the sellers show up. This is well below 50%. If we go down even lower to 618, make a lower low, and then we finally rally back up, I'm looking for an opportunity to sell because now the narrative is fully playing out, right? We're going to see dollar strength, right? People are going to start going crazy, re-getting into the dollar, selling off assets because cash will be king. And then all of a sudden, dollar's going to run into a weak zone and you're going to see assets go crazy again. And the average person will not know what's happening. They're going to get whipsawed. They're not going to know what's happening. They're not going to know how to ask the right questions, what to do, how to scale in and out of situations or positions. And the whole time you guys are sitting back laughing, eating, tacos and nachos, watching the next big move in the market. All right. Hopefully they're vegan. All right? But
I had tacos last night. They were not vegan. They were absolutely not vegan. Yeah.
I believe it. I had spaghetti.
Oh, you got to get you some nachos, some real nachos.
I had nachos last week. I can't do nachos every week. Listen, I'm a nacho and taco head. Like, if I can get it every chance I get, I will eat tacos every other day. Like, it's that bad. Like the hard shell tacos, and I stay in Southwest Detroit, so that's like the Hispanic, Latina part of Detroit. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to learn how to speak Spanish better. So I just go to the restaurants and just sit and listen all day. But yeah, it's a whole vibe. I'm always out here eating tacos.
Well, we gotta go to Mexico and get some tacos.
Man, bro, I was jealous. You went, and I'm like, I've never been to Mexico, bro. I gotta go. We gotta have our next big event in Mexico after Croatia.
TCX retreat.
Bruh, I got my vote on Mexico. Let's go.
Yeah, I think we gotta have that conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll pull up some things here real quick. Kind of piggyback on what Kurt was going over earlier. Yeah, I was looking at this Glassnode.com, shows some analytics, and yeah, a new all-time high for Bitcoin long-term holders is almost at 75% of the circulating supply. Bruh. So you have an asset that people are not looking to sell; they're holding, and everybody's worried about this like price falling, and that's like how it happened here and how it happened here. Everybody's worried about like the price dropping, but they're not worried about like what's actually happening behind the scenes. And it's that same type of mentality that happened here, took off, here, took off, probably here before the next wave to like 40,000. So don't stress too much about Bitcoin's price. Write this down, put it in the chat. Price versus value. I'm actually going to put in the chat. Price versus value. Right? When the value of something is there, the price is going to fly eventually. It's going to go up eventually. Okay. Second thing I wanted to talk about, a little bit of DeFi. We've obviously seen Maker's price double from our exchange idea. Now, they actually had a vote. Okay, this is the power of DeFi. The people that are holding the Maker token actually, so the MakerDAO community just approved a temporary increase for annual returns of DAI stablecoin into the protocol to 8%. Pretty interesting. Now, a couple key things. If you're in the US, you cannot access this, or if you use a VPN, you cannot access this because it's through Spark protocol. So if I even go here, I don't even know if it'll even let me go to the site because I'm in the U.S. currently right now. So if you're outside of the U.S., take a look at this. This is obviously that number is going to change. The DAI savings rate is now live, paying out at 8%. Not a bad play here. Okay, and obviously that number, that AP, I think it's APY. I think it's APY. APY will fluctuate as more money flows into DAI, but yeah, you can see it right here. The MakerDAO stability fee is a variable interest rate that is charged to users who borrow DAI. The stability fees and DSR are variable rates set by the MakerDAO governance. This is the power of DeFi, right? The people holding the token getting the voting rights. Very interesting. Also, how many of you guys have heard about Coinbase's Layer 2 base, which is built on, you guessed it, it's built on Ethereum, and it's leveraging, it's built on Ethereum, and then it has like a bridge on Optimism. And they actually just hit, actually pretty impressive, $124 million has been bridged over to the base layer. Now we can see here all the analytics are right here. Now a lot of these projects, they have been rug pulls. Okay, so a lot of bad projects are building on base right now, which is kind of funny. It's not funny, but it's kind of funny. The one that looks like Sam Bankman-Fried rug, the BALD token, was actually built on that base layer, and it was $100 million stolen or rugged from the liquidity. So that's pretty interesting, but it is cool to see some adoption. But a lot of the money flowing in is from like meme coins and that kind of whole space. So hopefully they kind of clean some stuff up. And what's funny is Coinbase is a regulated exchange, and all these meme coins are building on a regulated exchange of layers too.
Yep.
Isn't that ironic?
Yep.
That's so funny.
It's just the sign of the times, man. like you got all these weird projects popping up on Coinbase, and the whole while, like the SEC is just focused on the silliness. And I'm like, dude, just put out a stipulation where a coin has to have a certain amount of value or a certain amount of time in the market on maybe some different tier exchanges before they can make it to a big exchange like Coinbase or something like that. Like you got to go through some tried and true testing or type stuff before you get to Coinbase or the big dog status. Like if there were rules like that, like crypto would like overnight get more respect. But they're so focused on just shutting this stuff down or regulating through force and not giving any real clear cut guidelines. It's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's it's funny.
It is. We need a D league for crypto. Like developmental league, and then you can go up to the big boy status.
It's like if they wanted to find like the person that rugged BALD, they can do it, right?
Yeah, it's just Sam Bankman-Fried. I mean, yeah, they can find him. Yeah.
They're choosing not to at this point, right? So that's a choice, which is you can know. That's why we know these markets are funny and manipulated. But this is not manipulated because this is actually probably the biggest news of the day. PayPal is coming in with a stable coin. Guess what? On Ethereum. Not surprised. And they are going to be backing their stable coin, which is the most important part, by cash equivalents and short-term treasuries. And it's actually being issued by Paxos. Mm-hmm. The dollar stable coin is expected to become a part of the overall payments infrastructure, reports PayPal CEO Dan Schulman. It's going to be an ERC20 token. This is very important for everybody to understand. Yeah. So it's going to be the ticker PYUSD, dollar deposit short term. And we know PayPal has a lot of money. Now, who founded PayPal?
Oh, man, if we could only think of who founded PayPal.
Anybody know?
There's so many smart people that make things. Like there's smart people that make like stuff like Tesla, and smart people that create stuff like SpaceX, and so many smart people out here, man. But if we could only think of who made PayPal, sheesh.
It's and you just saw what X is doing now. Twitter turning into X, wants to be a financial global payment system, and who knows? Oh my God, it would be crazy if they use this PYUSD token in there. Oh yeah, Elon Musk founded PayPal.
That's right, he did. Look at chat. What? Don't nothing get past chat.
Yeah. Good stuff, guys. You guys are actually paying attention here. So yeah, this happened today, So when your skeptical aunt tells you crypto's a scam, I want you to say, hey, aunt, Hey, Auntie, you know what PayPal is? Yeah, I use it all the time, or I've used it to send money. Oh yeah, they just got involved. They've probably
Again.
been, yeah, exactly. They're actually they just actually dropped their own token. Oh really? Yeah,
Yup.
but don't do it. It's okay. So, yeah, this is actually a pretty big deal. We want, right? We want good stable coins. That's very important. Um, Now it's backed by right short-term treasuries, cash. So I'm not the biggest fan. I'd rather it be backed by like Bitcoin and ETH long term, because if treasuries go down and the dollar falls, then the reserves of this crypto stablecoin could be in some trouble. But great news for all of us.
I just
Now,
like it when they're over collateralized. For me, that's the biggest
yeah,
thing. When they're
it
over
has to be.
collateralized, it just saves so much extra work of trying to peg something, or trying to, make sure that there's enough value put aside. Like, just over collateralize it. Put an algorithm in like Dai has, and then just sit back and, problem solve if need be. If something wild happens, if you do with a black swan event, which is how many chances are we going to see black swan events throughout a year, 2 year, 3 year? And when you're over collateralized, you pretty much are just, cushioning for a potential black swan. Like, for me, it's the simplest solution to something where, and it makes people confident because they know no matter what, the liquidity's there.
Yep, and make it public, and that's what
Yeah.
USDC has now done. But
Bro, like, Nobody wants to sell XRP. Nobody.
Yeah, it's well, it's like and that's what USDC has now done. But they're saying they're going to do that next month. So this is important. This will be very important that we will follow up with this topic. I want to see the reserves, what percentage is what, if it's all cash, if it's treasury notes. God willing, they put some crypto in there because like DAI was a lot of USDC, and now they're going a little bit more toward ETH as their reserves. Yeah. So they're betting on ETH. I'm going to bet on ETH before I bet on the dollar in the next 10 years.
As sad as it is to say, I'd bet on XRP right now, bro. Like, nobody wants to sell XRP. Nobody.
Yeah. It's like another example of people are watching the price, you know, and you have to understand, like, people are going to take profit. So if you bought here, right, 1 year ago, you tripled your money, right? If you bought here, right? It's just math. Yeah. Now price is pulling back. So this is healthy. We traded into this level right here. Now it would get really interesting if price wanted to take that liquidity there. That would get very interesting. Bro. But let's see.
How would you feel if you saw a stable coin that was backed, it was like 50% backed by XRP, and then the other half was like in a, you know, a USDT or something like that, or USDC, I mean.
I'd honestly feel a lot better.
Yeah, you see, like, man, XRP is not going to flinch. It's been holding. It recovers nicely. Like, all of the above would make you feel a lot better about it. And it's like, it's at a level where it's like, you know, it's not going to tank to zero. We obviously seen XRP hold. Most of it's already being held by Ripple Labs. So we know they've already been audited and poked and prodded by the SEC. So we know their books are good. It's like, if I saw a stable coin with XRP backing and a little bit more stable coin into it or something like that, like, yeah, I wouldn't flinch. I'd be like, hey, that does make sense. I would feel more comfortable.
I could have swore there used to be a stable coin on XRP. Maybe there wasn't. There's never been a stable coin on XRP. There needs to be. Yeah, I agree. There needs to be somebody that comes in and builds, or
and considering this thing's like built for the banks, like, bro, what are we doing?
Like, yeah, just not a CBDC stablecoin. That's all we need right now. Is not really. We do not need that.
This question: why is Elon using ETH and not Doge for PayPal? You have to look at the actual liquidity of a project. Something like Doge is very easy to manipulate. And then you look at something like ETH, where it takes a lot of value to have to flow through ETH to make it flinch. Because you're thinking about DeFi is on ETH. Most of the NFTs you see are on ETH. And just the entire ecosystem of Ethereum alone just doesn't need any help. So something like Doge, it takes maybe 7 people with a lot of Doge to make the market move, like, substantially. So it's not so much about popularity as it is about liquidity and being able to dodge manipulation as best you can. Something like ETH would take massive coordination, and even still, it wouldn't last very long because it's so spread out. ETH is just literally one of the most decentralized projects.
Yeah, and anybody who wants Doge, like, anybody who's like favoring Doge to be used, like, they don't understand crypto. I'm sorry. They're just looking out for their bags.
Yeah, man.
They don't understand, like, Doge is still hanging around the top. We'll see every 10 years there's going to be a massive shift. Like, it's still number 8, probably number 8 right now because of speculation. But do you think Doge is more valuable than Cardano, Solana? I mean, even Tron. I think Tron has more value than Doge, right? Polygon. You think Doge is more valuable than Polygon, Litecoin, Uniswap? So,
yeah. I mean, Doge is fun for him to keep around because it allows Elon to have a certain level of coolness to the average person. Like, and I hate to say this and sound like I'm trying to be mean. Doge is like the average everyday person coin. And why do I say that? Because most people want something for nothing. I don't like to say it and be like, oh, you know, everybody wants to be free. But most people want something for nothing. And Dogecoin for them is the give me something for this nothing that I'm holding. I barely put any money into it, but I want to be super wealthy just for holding on to it. And it's like, what does it do? Nothing. But we all are in agreement that we're going to put more money into it. And I'm like, yeah, that's not an investment strategy. That's not, market, that's not any kind of adoption. That's simply just you guys trying to hurry up and do a money grab. There's nothing about this project that screams utility outside of a bunch of people in agreement that it does nothing. That's it.
I think this is a great example. You just look at it and say, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. It's just a picture of a dog. Even the creator of Doge was like, I didn't make this coin to do anything close to what it's doing right now.
Yeah, that's called getting lucky and getting really, really wealthy by accident.
Yeah, and he sold a lot of his Doge way before all this stuff took off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like the project itself is just, it's all hype. That's all it is. I'm not even sorry to say it. It's literally all hype. It's one of the reasons why I don't talk about it that much. We don't do analysis on it. It's just hype. It's nothing about this project that's going to change the world. It's just all hype, and people want to get behind something to make a quick buck, and that's Dogecoin. And I laugh because I'm like, imagine if that same energy for Dogecoin went into XRP. That same energy for Dogecoin went into Solana. The same energy for Dogecoin went into Ethereum. But those projects don't peddle hype. They don't sit back and try to, pander and cater to a bunch of people that don't know anything about crypto and don't want to know anything about crypto. So it's only so much you can do. And you got the copiers, the baby Doges and all that other weird stuff. And people keep trying to look for the next big, I want to go from zero to hero. I don't waste my time on that kind of stuff when there's actual real utility and, growth and expansion happening with certain projects. I'd rather be attached to something with some substance. And that way, moving forward, I can duplicate that analysis for the next big project with substance, as opposed to chasing around the next hype meme coin. Yeah, these are like pet rocks with a bunch of people behind them. That's exactly what it is. Doesn't do anything, but it's a bunch of hype around it, and people wasted money buying rocks and calling them pets. It was silliness.
Welcome to cryptocurrency, ladies and gentlemen. It's your first session here. Don't worry, keep coming back.
Right.
So let's go over this real quick. I know a lot of people are going to be really happy because, they've been waiting for this probably for like 2 years. We got a brand new little exchange idea here floating on the app, and this is going to be a process. So I just dropped Polkadot. I'm liking the levels here. Just jump to the chart. Put a 1 in the chat if you're like finally, Mike dropped the new exchange idea. We're going to play off this level here. We're going to really look at this on higher time frames, 2 weeks and monthlies. And we're just going to play risk to reward. So I'm looking between 390 and 480. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna look, right? We're just gonna be patient, right? Price can easily just continue to just bounce in this level. But I want to give you guys some time to look to potentially accumulate this educational exchange idea. That was long. And let's see. I mean, even if this gives us a nice bounce from here, right, back to this candle, that'll be a very nice potential move. And we will be looking for short-term scalps on this for potential exchange play. The long-term targets, okay, guys, will be around 19, 20 bucks. And I do think DOT could be one of those projects that gets close to or gets back to its all-time high. So third exit is at 42. We look at the tokenomics, a lot of volume still in DOT. Circulating is at the total. Mm-hmm. It's very similar to ETH with the, infinite logo there.
All that stuff gets changed down the line, though. Like, just how we see, with ETH, everybody tries to give ETH a bad rap because it has that infinite sign with max supply, but it has a burning mechanism. So we're burning ETH almost not as fast as we're creating it, but it puts a different type of downward pressure on the supply of ETH as opposed to just seeing it go wild. So as long as ETH has demand, we'll see less and less ETH in the market.
Exactly. And just a reminder for anybody that's new here, when you get an exchange idea, it doesn't mean go rush and go buy it. It doesn't mean that. It means pay attention, right? You got to understand that this is down, right? A lot of these markets are down 90, 95%. So I'm putting this on your radar ahead of time, because even if this consolidates and goes a little bit lower, I'm okay with a sub 5, mid $3-4 dot, knowing where it potentially can go. And this is kind of giving us, right? Let's do a little action here. Let's go left side dot, right side maker. And let's go into the 3-day on the 3-day. Let's go 10-day. Yeah, kind of like a very similar price action here, right? You have price have this push up, create a low, kind of just consolidate down. You know, kind of have similar movement here. Creates a low. Look at right here, buy to sell move, buy to sell move, and then price breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I'm looking for here on dot. Okay, very similar to kind of like what Maker did down here. And now Maker's obviously, you know, doubled from our exchange idea. So
yeah,
pay attention here. And maybe Kurt would do a dot night.
I gotta get a new suit. You know, I gotta light some candles and stuff. Set the mood.
You used to wear a suit on that session?
Yeah, it's date night, but with dot.
Dude, I don't remember that. I don't remember you wearing a suit.
No, I had a turtleneck on with the I had jewelry on and everything. It was a whole. I got my hair done. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, we might get canceled if you do that again.
I promise I'll keep my clothes on. I promise.
Yeah, you better. Oh man. Well, I'm actually. How many of you guys want Kurt to do a dot night? Let's get some review.
Yeah. That night was lit. That night was lit, bro. Like we had fun on that night. Like I got like come in with candles and stuff and flowers and candies because it's basically date night, but with polka dot. And we just, you know, we sat down and vibed out. I put on my sexy Barry White voice, like, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about polka dot tonight. Can't wait till you guys get into this project. It's really exciting, doing a lot of innovation. Gavin Woods, the creator. And we went through a whole thing. It was lit.
We need to hit that send feedback button real quick. And you guys got to go 5 stars. We want dot night. We need 200. We need 200 reviews saying we need dot night. And I'm going to convince Kurt to do it.
Mike's got to wear a suit too. If I do it, Mike, and he can't be MetaMask Mike. It's got to be Mike suited and booted, ready to go. And we're doing a whole deep dive on dot. And then we'll do like a dot night and like a Solana celebration or something, a Solana siesta. I don't know.
Yeah. We need 200 reviews on the dot night topic. That's going to be. I'm letting my hair grow out. That's why I got to wear the fox. That's so. No, we're serious. This is not a prank.
Oh yeah, no, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
You know, we're being dead serious. If you're new here, you don't even know what Polkadot is. That would be great for you. So make sure you leave some reviews.
Airdrop's coming. Trust me, airdrop's coming. I was talking to Corp. We're good. Just got a lot of stuff going on right now because we got the convention coming up. So I'm just kind of like, I'm not the top priority getting videos reviewed. So it's coming though. Trust me.
Come on. Amazing. So yeah, that's really it here, guys. Let's see if we have any leverage ideas here. Being active on leverage. It looks like Nick just dropped XRP and we have Bitcoin both today.
Hey.
So we'll review these. We have DCX futures live in about 1 hour and 5 minutes. Let us know if you're going to be there in the chat. Yeah, Kurt, I'll pass it back to you.
Yes. So yes, family. And later on this evening, I think Nick's going to be doing this session right after we get done with futures. And then I'll be doing Mindset with you guys at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Same channel, different time. So yes. But no, guys, like that's the thing. Like with a lot of these projects, like we like to kind of have some fun with breakdowns and analysis. And, you know, we don't like to do this for every single project. So we might do a deep dive for Polkadot, a deep dive with Solana, a deep dive with Cardano, maybe a deep dive for Maker, maybe a deep dive for, you know, certain coins and certain protocols where, you know, you get a better understanding of it. And then you can compare it to other layer 1s and other layer 2s, maybe a deep dive for Polygon. So you can really get a better understanding of why it's so valuable and why it had the run it had, or it just gives you a good idea of this is why this project's doing this. Okay, so now if I like this layer 1 that's doing a great thing, maybe I want to start looking for some of the layer 2s that are coming up that can potentially be the next, Polygon for this project, or the next, Uniswap is amazing for Ethereum. Maybe we're going to find the next Uniswap for Solana, the next Uniswap for Cardano, the next Uniswap for, whatever it may be. So it just gives you a little bit of a benchmark to kind of compare other things against and give you that deeper look into something, as opposed to just saying, Kurt and Mike said it's cool. It's like, no. You need to understand what these are, what they do, and how you can, utilize them better in your research when you're looking for other projects.
Oh my God, the reviews are coming in hot. This is getting out of control.
Yeah, no, it's a vibe, man. Like, I really do love the fact that we can do these deep dives with you guys and just have these really lit experiences when it comes to breaking down certain projects, man. So listen, we got futures coming up in 3 minutes. I don't want to overlap because I did last week. I felt bad. I was like 5 minutes over.
Oh, this one's in 1 hour. This one's in.
Oh, you're right. We do got 1 hour. So listen, we got futures coming up in 1 hour and some change. So listen, family, get your popcorn ready. Mike's going to be there. Nick's going to be there. Dane's going to be there. Charlie's going to be there. So you're going to get all the value. One-stop shop. You know how we do on Mondays. We're going to come in swinging. So I appreciate you guys as usual. Like we just said earlier, dollar's not really doing too much. We know we got some Fed news coming up next month. This is just that season where the market likes to consolidate, but you have really great opportunities to accumulate and grow your holdings. So that way, when it's time to really jump off the porch, we can do it with some extra capital and start really building out those portfolios, really building out, those accounts. So you guys that are taking advantage of futures, you can go crazy. You guys are taking advantage of MT4 with just Swipe Coin. You guys can go crazy, but you do it from a standpoint of risk management. We do not over leverage. Put it in the chat. Let me know right now. You got to put one hand on your heart, one in the air, and type, I will not over leverage with your feet, because one hand's on your heart, one hand's on your chest. So one hand's on your chest, one hand's in the air. So you can't use your hands. Type with your feet, I will not over leverage.
Use Siri. Oh, they don't know if they have that on Androids. Sorry.
All right. See, not everybody's iPhone users, man. Don't get me started, bro. Everybody thinks I'm like an iPhone head now because I bought an AirTag, and I don't. It's a thing, bro. Like, I'm slowly believing iPhone is more and more of a cult than I thought it was. I still love my Android, but y'all just won't let me live the fact down that I have an iPhone now. Like, even when I do my little jokes, they're like, Kurt, hold up your iPhone, Kurt. We want to see it. I'm like, this sucks, bro. I don't even get a say so on what phone I get to hold up no more.
Yeah, well, at least it's not a BlackBerry, so that could have been real bad.
A BlackBerry. I'm gonna get a sidekick when them old school boys just flip around. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. It might be before your time. You remember sidekicks, bro?
No, I think I had one. I'm pretty sure I had one.
Like the old school texting pager style? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you had that, you were cool. I think I had one.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I broke it on the playground.
On the playground. Oh, you had to say playground. That made me feel old because I had it when I was like in college.
Yeah, I was hustling people for money.
Oh my goodness. Always hustling, bro. Always hustling. All right, family. We appreciate you guys. You guys have a blessed one. 1 hour futures call. And then after that, we got Nick Gomez. And right after that at 9, I'll be doing Mindset with you guys as usual. And as always, family, we appreciate you guys. You got any last words, Mike?
Yep. We'll see you guys in 1 hour. Leave a review if you want the dot night. Peace.
Let's get it. All right, family. Appreciate you guys. We're going to wrap up here. Definitely was a lit session. I'll catch you guys at 9 p.m. for Mindset. Get your notebooks ready. And as usual, all right, and as always, because I know how we do, all right, family, y'all know how we do. So stay patient, stay disciplined, and the gains will come. We out. And, oh, yeah. Good night, everybody. Stay blessed, family. Love you guys. Get this bag. Let's go.